That was good. Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you. And you can stay notified. I like this chapter a lot. I thought there was a lot of things to sink our teeth into, raise a lot of inquiries and important questions, and why I don't know how all of these things are going to connect and how they intersect. Just good stuff here. So let's start with the Blue Demon. When Thor, which is what I call the God of Guardians, make that very clear, what I call the God of Guardians, I believe that he's actually a lot more important of an entity than we really realize, because with one person just going through revolution in the rice pot, it completely changed the dynamics of the tower, essentially acting as a power up for any and all beings and concepts, and that even includes evil, and making you more susceptible to evil. And I think something about dissolving into Shinsu, which I'm not entirely sure like what that's supposed to mean, but some of my subscribers think that it could mean something in V killed himself in order to be dissolved in some meaningful way, and maybe he's living through it. Don't know how that all shapes up, but I thought maybe it was insinuating that that blue demon was in V and it was passed on to Bam, the same way that Bam got V's tension, the ability to pack a lot of power to a singular orb. But it could just be a representation of something that will become stronger, that existed somewhere, and that demon becomes more powerful as a result of V sharing his power with people. So that was really cool. V immediately comes out and is like, no, I'm going to share this power with everybody. It's not just for me, and I can't climb without my companions. And then Thor makes a statement that he makes. And what I find fascinating about it is when he's about to use his ability, which is cool, he has these wings on his back. And I made the joke like, oh, V was Icarus all along. I don't actually think that. That wasn't the point, but I think it was a really cool little storytelling decision to have that there. Like Icarus, the wings, you fly too close to the sun and you get burnt. And the next panel was literally Li Rang burning him. And I was like, I like that. That was a pretty interesting storytelling decision. I like something like that. So we'll see where that goes and how these things go. But more importantly, right? The thing that I want you guys to keep in mind here, Traumerei is currently on trial for his sin. At the end of the chapter, he decides the hostages and or people who are part of this robotic test, whatever the case is, they gotta go. I'm gonna save my people in our own hide. And some people, I think Infinite, I think Who Dis specifically, had said, hey man, I don't think Traumerei did anything wrong. This is not evil. You're just protecting your friends. The same way a point was made that Zahard trying to hide the rice pot or the guardian, so not everybody could just go in there and get stronger to become strong enough to challenge the ruler or make you a bad ruler. And I have no problem with any of these perspectives or point of views. But I would argue, if they didn't care about the hostages in the first place, you should have just left them alone to fend for themselves. I think to basically be like, we have to save them, or you're planning on saving them, then be like, this test kind of hard, bro. Let's open it up. Like, and water, surf, hydro pump, like they got, and then there's way more. I think that's a little messed up. I do. But again, oh God, I can't wait until we have the discussion of morality in Tower of God, but it's just a matter of me getting on a good schedule to connect with everybody else to talk about it, but we will get there. Maybe what I have to do as a small preliminary is give you my personal perspective and then a discussion. Let me know if you'd be interested in me giving you my perspective on morality, good and bad, evil versus righteousness in Tower of God. But yes, so he pulls a lever and basically says the tower made us crueler than we expected. Are we sinners? And then you just look at all the bodies just there, and there was some interesting parallels to Bam and maybe like the canine people and whatnot, and with maybe Dang Dang. But you got Zahard in the chapter, he's banging on the door, and when he was saying urine, Edwan, I actually thought we were gonna see urine. I think we should see at least Eurasia or Hauran personally, I would still save some designs and save some family heads, even if it's a flashback for later. But I do think the most important thing in a lot of ways is the flashback we got with Ameus and this one. It's gonna connect. There's a small thread that's gonna connect them both, and we're gonna get the whole big picture. Cause this is still before Ame, I think. This is before they start to do the discarding memories and not wanting to remember stuff whole gimmick on their Castle Oblivion. Well, I guess in Castle Oblivion you have to forget to gain, but you get my point. I think there was ways to protect them, save them. You could have given V the opportunity to try to save to save Traumerei. Is crazy. Traumerei didn't give V the opportunity to try to save them, and I was actually wondering if this maybe makes their relationship more contentious or makes V a little less willing to share, or at least with Traumerei specifically. So we could see how that rift starts, and maybe this is when Zahard starts to console him, and he starts like more get his like claws into Traumerei's mind and brain, and to make him kind of his lackey, minion, or second in command in some capacity, or at least amongst the 13 great warriors. The blue flame that was gifted to protect V and his companions. Did you guys interpret that V is the person who can pass this flame on, or does this flame already protect him and his companions? Or does V have to consciously use that to protect you? By which I mean this. The first thing I thought when I saw that line was, I think I would be maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'd be insane to think that ability is in any way, shape, or form comparable to 11 irregulars versus 2. But what if they don't have that blessing by the God of Guardians, by Thor, and V does? So with him and Arlene, Loose Like, and their faction, they were protected by this blue flame, and that made the fight a lot easier for them in a lot of ways that it would have been had he not been the first person to go through Revolution in the rice pot. So there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about that I'm intrigued by, that I truly like, that I want to see more. Like, did these guys come in and were the first like humanoid beings that they've really met? Well, no, that's not true because we saw them in this chapter. But like, I want to know what's going on with like the first descendant of man. Does that relate to Cha? Because they're fighting machines. There's a plant god, a machine god. Like, how did this all intersect? So I'm at a 8 out of 10 this week. That's what I decided to give it. I also thought the best panel. I get why most people would give the one with V with the wings. This is probably the thumbnail. However, I actually chose the Blue Demon because I didn't expect to see it, and I think that it's probably going to be a little more important than I initially thought it was going to be. And as for my favorite piece of dialogue, I do think that we got a bad translation, but I think when we get a better one, it'll make more sense because I get the kind of big picture takeaway and the grander point, but I like when the God of Guardians was talking about the discord and the seeds of evil in the Shinsu also awakening, becoming more powerful, and in turn, you would become more susceptible to acts in that realm. Really good stuff. Hope you stay on this train. Don't want to see Bam versus Dumas. Keep that far away from me. It stinks. It's smelly. I don't care. Let's stay in the flashback for now. We're in good form. We're in great form. Congratulations to Spain for winning the Euros. Congratulations for Argentina for winning Copa America. And I'm hoping that the Canadian women in the Olympics can defend their gold medal in football, soccer in Paris. So, on Paris. See you guys later. Patreon gang. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for the continued support. It always helps. I'm actually going to add like a $1 tier just for those who just want to throw a little extra help to me, if y'all don't mind that. But shout out to the certified BAM lovers. That's CBL gang, CBL nation. But a bigger shout out to the Priest of Fire. Those are the certified Brilliant lovers. They might be the real CBLs. And the huge shout out to the Fifths and Gods. Thank you to Zahard Scotty, Wolf General, Rek Mazzino, Sly, Simi, Scobe, Rox G, Revenant, Lazy Dragon, Big Mod Katan, Johnny Rogers, Huey, Gray, Fairs, Childish Nujabes, Agrona Vitra, and Big Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. I moved out of the streets into a cardboard box. We're moving on up, people.